What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, and today we're going to talk about the very real possibility of World War III. This is not clickbait. Anyone who knows anything about the world today knows the signs are basically on the wall, right? It's written on the wall right now what's going on. You've got the crisis with Ukraine, Russia, that's been ongoing. You've got the situation now going on in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. Okay. You've got the United States threatening to step in on both of those conflicts. You've also had Israel and Gaza. And before every single one of those conflicts started, there was the same kind of conversation going on. Basically, hey, evacuate. Remember when they said, hey, evacuate Gaza, you have 3 days. About 4 days ago, Trump sent out a tweet. He said, evacuate Tehran. Tehran is the capital of Iran. Now, the United States has not militarily declared war on anyone yet, but we have a tension now going on in Asia between China and Taiwan escalating. That's been going on for 10, 20 years. But with all of this stuff going on, what are some things that you can do to better prepare? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So we know about the potential triggers. We know U.S.-China tensions, Taiwan. We've got that going on. I mean, if you've studied World War II, you know about how the Central Powers versus the Allied powers, how all that kind of escalated. You know about Russia and the NATO conflict that's going on. Middle East flashpoints. You've got Israel, Iran. We saw the destabilization that happened in Syria. We saw destabilization happen in Iraq, Afghanistan. This stuff just keeps coming up. I mean, it's there. You've got North Korea in the mix. You've got these cyber attacks. Just recently, a bunch of passwords were leaked for Google, Apple. I mean, you got to go in there and basically reset all your passwords, people. This stuff is happening, and it's not to raise an alarm. It's saying, hey, pay attention, because I think what's happening right now is a lot of people are just kind of like, yeah. They're just kind of going about their daily business. I mean, you walk down the streets, people aren't even thinking twice about the fact that we're literally on the verge of a world war, and it would be World War III. And world wars, they kind of start slowly out of nowhere, and then they just grow. And that's the big thing that we have to take into consideration. Obviously, the 1,000-pound elephant in the room is nuclear threats. The cyber warfare stuff is big because a lot of these wars aren't necessarily going to be fought the conventional way that you saw in World War II, where troops are going to come invade into your country. It's going to be more of like digital warfare, and then probably bigger bombs. It's big bombs, lots of air raids, stuff like that. And then AI is going to be used. Drones are going to be used. I mean, maybe even robot armies. I mean, this stuff is really crazy. There's space warfare nowadays. Bioweapons, you know, how people can just create pandemics or viruses in labs. I mean, that's happening. That's a bioweapon. Then you have chemical weapons. Okay, so how is this going to affect supply chains? You know, you got to think about food, medicine, energy shortages. You know, I hate to talk to people about stockpiling, you know, because people have been stockpiling for the last like 15 years, 20 years, it seems like. Ever since Y2K, it seemed like people have been doomsday prepping, right? But are you prepared with your medicines, your backup energy supplies, your food supplies? Do you have canned foods on hand? Right now would probably be a good time to consider that. You know, you've got refugee crises. You know, you've got a bunch of people in places like Haiti and stuff, Mexico. You know, with a porous border, they can easily come into the country from the south. Are you too close to the border? You know, what happens if destabilization happens in the United States and the border is open wide? It wouldn't be coming from the north as much because there's not as many people, but the southern border could really open up like a gaping hole pretty bad. But then there's the idea of economic depression. What are you doing to prepare for, you know, your financial situation? Are you diversifying your assets, your investments? Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes, by the way. I see you guys out there. But what are you doing to prepare for this? You know, they say, oh, well, do you got enough cash on hand? You know, cash is still currency. You know, if there was a cyber attack on the bank, if there was a bank run, everyone who's got only digital cash like me, I mean, I'm pretty much, you know, fully digital right now. And if there was a cyber attack, grid down on a cyber, I mean, where am I going to get any access to funding? Uh, so I've had to go out and accumulate. This is why I wear silver. Okay. This is where I wear silver. This is currency if I ever need it. People think I just wear it because, you know, I want to look cool. No, I have silver on hand because it's also a currency in a SHTF. You know, if things hit the fan, I can't really say the word, but you know what I'm saying. If things hit the fan, then there you go. I've got at least something to, that's tangible currency or has been a currency, silver. But you got to prepare for economic. Yeah, I would say having hard silver, gold on hand. I'm having a hard time seeing why anyone wouldn't do that. I get the real reason why Bitcoin, you know, people want Bitcoin, but in a grid down situation, that's not going to work either. It's going to be precious metal. I can't really think of anything else other than ammo and food that would be currency. So, I mean, these are things that you got to take into consideration. There's people out there that literally don't even realize what is coming or what could come. I mean, they think that everyone's talking Chicken Little and that the sky is falling, and I get it. I mean, we've been hearing the same stuff for a long time, but this is for the first time in my adult life, the closest I've ever seen the United States being to a nuclear war. Iran is a nuclear country. They've been enriching uranium. They have nuclear facilities buried in the desert, and they've had them for over 10 to 15 years. They say they have enough uranium for 9 bombs. These are big bombs, WMDs. We heard the same story with Iraq back in the day, but you have to take this stuff into consideration. I mean, they've been really enriching uranium for a long time. And Trump recently said he's got 2 weeks to figure it out. I personally do not think Trump wants to do it. I don't think he wants to do it. I do think he's being taunted. I was watching and reading the tweets from Khomeini from the Islamic Republic. The way he talks, he seems equally as aggressive as Trump, but you have two kind of like beta fishes. I know Trump says he wants to negotiate. Khomeini says he doesn't want to negotiate. So I don't really see a way out of this. I don't really see a way out of it. And, it's like, I don't think Trump really wants to do anything like that, but, you have to take that into consideration. But things that you can be doing around the house for personal preparedness, know your evacuation routes, know your area, know who your friends are, know where your backup plans can be. Establish backup plans, establish alliances with your neighbors. Really. You need to know who your friendly people, who's friendly, who's not, who you can lean on, who you can partner with, who you can ally with in a situation where the grid goes down, food shortages, supply chains cut off. You don't know how bad things can get because, truth be told, Americans have never actually suffered they haven't suffered since like the Great Depression. So you have a whole generation of people who have no idea what people in Syria have gone through, what people in Gaza have gone through, what people in Sudan have gone through, what people in developing countries actually go through for survival. America has been completely immune to it. And Americans at this point, they think it's their God-given right to just basically wake up, have fresh water, have electricity, have an ambulance, a police, and all the first world amenities. What happens if all of that goes away and all these people who've lived this whole time based on all of the conveniences of the modern world and it's taken away? Are they ready? Are they ready? And the answer would be no. No, they're not. Even myself, I would have to be honest with myself. Am I really ready for that? And no, I'm probably not, because I know how bad things can get. All you have to do is see what happens, how people are surviving in Gaza, or how people are surviving in Syria, or how people are surviving in any place that's ever war torn or ever had to experience something. And on a world war level, it can get bad. I mean, we saw what happened to Europe during World War II and World War I. We saw what happened to Japan. We saw what happened to China. We saw what happened to the Philippines. We saw what happened all over the world during that World War II. If it gets to a level where it's world war, I don't really see how everything just continues along hunky-dory, like, oh, we're just at war. I don't really see how that happens. So you need to know evacuation routes. You need to know who your allies are. You need to have strategy in place. You need to be talking to your neighbors more than ever if you haven't. Okay. Do you have emergency supplies on hand? Okay, we talked about that. Food, water, medicine, cash, silver, currency, rounds. Do you got rounds? Talking about the brass. If you don't know, now you know. What's up, Mark? But you guys got to pay attention to this stuff. It's quite serious right now. And make sure you have your digital security stuff secure. Make sure you have like a way to access that stuff. If you lose your passwords or something, you got to have backups. You got to kind of take digital security into consideration. A lot of this stuff is digital. I mean, what you got to go through the steps in your mind. Identity theft, shutdowns. Passwords, money. I mean, these are things we have to think about. Also, I would say guard your mind. Watch out for news propaganda. Okay. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There really is. There's a lot of misinformation. So be on the lookout for misinformation as it's coming. But also, really, I don't know. I'm going to have to stress the alliances that you're making with your neighbors. This is a time for you to talk to your neighbors, have the conversation about this. Obviously, we'd love to think that, it's just a blip in the pan. They're going to work it out. Hopefully that's what happens. But there's too much escalation. Too many war drums are pounding right now. There's been too many war drums pounding. There's too many war drums pounding between Russia, Ukraine, Israel. Trump, I don't know. Trump, I don't think he wants to do it, but I know he will. I mean, if someone pokes him hard enough, if they poke the bear will go. And I know thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes. We're a new channel getting the word out there, but we have to have these conversations. Are you paying attention to actual government alerts? Are you on X? Do you follow FEMA? Do you follow DHS? Okay. Do you monitor trusted news sources, whether it be Reuters, Associated Press, maybe BBC? Avoid sensationalist media. Understand the threats, okay? Know where the emergency protocols are in your town. Essential preparedness, okay? Short-term survival, food, water, 2 weeks plus food and water, canned food, grains, all that stuff. Hopefully this helps you guys. I mean, I'm just trying to put the word out there to get you guys, aware, because the war drums are pounding. They're pounding harder than they ever have in this situation. And that's no joke. I mean, it is what it is. So do you have first aid kits? Do you have things to barter? Solar panels, solar generators. These are important things to have on hand right now. I mean, things to consider, preparedness. Anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend. I know that it's tense, but get outside, enjoy the weekend the best you can, because that's all you can do. Although I haven't really, I've actually, I'm not gonna lie, I've been stressing this. This has actually been stressing me out because the war drums are very loud. So anyways, thanks to everyone who subscribes to the channel, keeps up with us. We'll try to build this community even more. Keep you guys updated. See you on the next one.